You talked about.
Oh no. I just started it. Just started it. That's why I didn't. All right, so let's get a few assignments this morning. There's not many of us here this morning, but we just pray there's more on the way. Just a little slowful today, but we're going to proceed on anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
In the name of the Lord.
Yes, ma'am.
In Jesus' name, yes, ma'am. So, Sister Diane, would you be finding for us Numbers 27, 8 through 11? Sister Kisme, Sister Christian is our visitor. We're so glad to have her back with us. Proverbs 20 and 21. If somebody else come in, we'll get their help. All righty. So, today's lesson is Call to Return. I believe that was in some books, and some books give it a different name. Yours may be what?
Ours is, let's see. Just one second. Lost and Found.
Lost and Found, okay, Lost and Found. All right, so some books may say Lost and Found. Commentary will probably call it Call to Return. All right, and so the parable of the prodigal son follows two shorter parables that we know very well. The lost sheep and then the lost coin.
Yes.
And in both cases, it's something that was lost and is going to be searched for and found in those two shorter parables. But the main thing followed all three is a celebration. Each of them is intended to illustrate that there is rejoicing in the presence of God over one sinner who repents.
Yes.
If only just one comes back, that pleases God. All heaven is pleased. So the Pharisees had grumbled about Jesus' attention to the sinners and the tax collectors. And Jesus' response is that God delights when these lost ones repent and returns to Him.
Yes.
In our world today, it's easy for people to lose their way. We see it all the time. What is our responsibility to those who go astray? I want us to contemplate that question there. What is our responsibility to those who go astray? Because later I'm going to have questions for you. You know how that is. I always have questions, and I want you to think about it and answer for yourself. Jesus taught that those who are lost are loved by God, even though they're lost. They're still loved by God, and they still have value.
Yes.
They are valued. They're searched for, and they're welcome back when they return. And that's the opposite word, when they return, because we'll see something very important in this lesson that I'm going to point out when we get there. All right? All right. So, since our co-teacher is not here, Sister Diane, would you be my reader today for me, the first outline? I think that's 11 through the 14. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Sister Lucy Williams coming in.
Sorry to disturb.
That's just all right.
Glad you're here.
All right, Sister Diane. Yes, ma'am.
Verse 11, and he said, a certain man had two sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that followed to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with rituals.
Very good. Yeah.
And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want.
Man, all right. Sister Lucy, when you get situated there, find for us Luke the 15th chapter, at 29 through 30. Luke 15 chapter, Diane, 29 through and 30 for Sister Lucy. Yours was Proverbs 20, 21. All right. Thank you very much, Sister Diane, for being our reader today for that first outline. And it says, and he said, a certain man had two sons. So now we see three characters right there, don't we? They're introduced at one, a man and his two sons, a very common occurrence, right?
Yes.
This family depicted here is no different in this regard so far. But now look what it went on to say, verse 12. And the young of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. Now right there. Now that's what made this uncommon. This was very uncommon when this youngest son requests his inheritance, his share of the estate prior to his father's death. We know usually things pass on to the children only after the parents are deceased.
And the older one gets.
And the older one, yes, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
The older son, no, that's all right. And the older son is the one that was supposed to have gotten the largest portion anyway. But look what this father does. He divides it evenly between these two sons. Yeah. So this son, even what I'm getting, he got more than he was supposed to normally have gotten.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, he got more. And didn't do anything with it, as we know we'll see, but just wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasted. And we'll see what he wasted it on in a few minutes. Sister Paige, we're so glad to see you this morning. All right. So, yes. And so when you get settled in, we'll need your help too. Galatians 6 and 1. Yes, ma'am. All right. So now, the father's willingness to grant this request, that was a little bit kind of uncommon too. He could tell him, no, son, it's not for you to have yours right now. But look what the father does. And I want us to look at the father's actions. He's the main character right here today. Not so much the son going off leaving. But look at the father's reaction here. He willingly does what the son requested. He let him have his free will. And that's just like our God.
Yes, it is.
We have free will to do what we want to do,
Yes, Lord.
believe like we want to believe, live how we want to live. And inheritance laws in Israel, in this early Israel day, was designed to favor, as we said, the older son. He was the one who was supposed to have gotten the double share. And as we just said, and that was to help preserve the family. Figure the older son is going to be more in tune with, keeping the family, if it was a business, keeping the family business, keeping the family land, keeping everything intact. Good to go. So, Sister Diane, you have Numbers 27, 8 through 11?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, share that with us.
It says, Sister Teacher, and thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a man die and have no son, then ye shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughter. And if he have no daughter, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his brethren. And if he have no brethren, then he shall give his inheritance unto his father's brethren. And if his father have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his kinsman that is next to him of his family, and he shall possess it. And it shall be unto the children of Israel
Statute
of judgment, as the Lord commanded Moses.
Amen. Amen. So that was the law of how land was supposed to be passed down, inheritance from generation to generation. Oh, you know what? We don't have our book, y'all. I usually depend on Sister Sanders to get that, and I thought she was. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Paige. And you probably have to do that book for us there. Yeah, that was just, I wanted you all to double check to see if all the information is correct on that for yourselves. And then I'll get those printed up, new ones for us. All right, so dividing up this father's estate before his death, what I'm getting at, was very much frowned upon. All right, but he did it anyway. In this case, the property would pass to the sons. But the father would continue the right to utilize and enjoy the profits and the advantages of something belonging to another, as long as that property is not damaged or altered or changed in any way. All right, so an angry response. Look what the response here. He says, and he divided unto him his living. An angry response would have been very understandable. He could have blasted on the son. Well, what you mean? I'm not dead yet. But this father in this story accedes to this request. He does not deny the son. He simply. So now do you think the father is simply naive in doing so? He could have told him no, but he does. Listen to Sister Christian. Sister Christian, Proverbs 20 and 21.
Proverbs 20 and 21 says, an inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but the end thereof shall not be blessed.
And that's just what the son did. He got his inheritance at the beginning, as Sister Christian just read, right?
Yes.
But it didn't end where the ending was not well at all. Not a blessed ending. Yeah, not a blessed ending at all. So that lets us know the father wasn't naive, but he just let the son. Sometimes parents have to let children, as they say, hit rock bottom for themselves, so they see after you have told them and told them and told them, but then they still don't hear you. Sometimes you just have to turn. That's when you turn them over to the hands of the Lord. They might hit rock bottom, but that's okay too, because rock bottom is some teaching lessons.
Yes, it is.
There's some teaching lessons.
By this son, his age, asking for his inheritance.
Yes, ma'am.
It shows you his mindset.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fast.
Oh yeah. Yes, ma'am. So much like the world today, just like so many of our youth today. They're so restless. And you can see that restlessness in this son. This younger son's share of the estate. Look at verse 13. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together. Now, when he gathered all together, that let us know right there, this indicates that he had this in his plan all along, wasn't it? Yeah. He had this in his plan all along. And it said, and he took a journey into a far country. So with lots of money in his pocket, he picks up and he moves out. That says, far, far from home.
I just seen him out.
Oh, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
It's wild living.
Yes, you can see him. Yes, ma'am. And with no kind of responsibility. He doesn't have any sense of responsibility.
None.
No kind of responsibility. No kind of moral restraint. He just out there, I can just do what I want to do the way I want to do it, as long as I want to do it.
Wild and willing.
Wild and willing. That's a good term for it. Yeah. So long as his father was alive, he probably had responsibility to support the father, right? But he figured, let me get on way away from home. What I don't see, I won't have to be bothered with. I don't have to, how that is. And so he moves out far from home, ignoring this, and spends it all on himself. Yeah. No responsibility. All right, that English word, and we've given this term the name, the prodigal son. If you notice, that word is not in this lesson anywhere, is it? No. But they use this term because that word means to drive away, to squander. And we know what happened when we squander, right? We just what? Just blow through the money. And that's exactly what he did. In this distant land, he wasted. Look what it said there. And there wasted his substance with riotous living. In other words, living wild. Living on the wild side, wasn't it? Oh, he took that walk on the wild side. He squanders all this money. And we don't know the dollar amount. It does not tell us, but whatever it was, it probably could have lasted him a long time.
Yeah.
But now he didn't go through it. This was a couple of years passing that we can probably get from this lesson. And apparently, in this distant land, he wasted all this money, squandered apparently this wild life and freedom that he thought went with it also had been part of his plan. This part of the plan also. Remember when he gathered up all that he had? That was part of the plan, and he had planned to go out and spend it, just like the Bible tells us that he did, squander it. Now, what did he squander it on? The brother protests to the father that this prodigal son had wasted it on prostitutes, and the Bible supports that. Look, who's that? That's Sister Lucia, who has Luke 15, 29 through 30. That part is not in this lesson today, but listen what he squandered it on.
And he answered and said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgress thou at any time thy commandment. And yet thou never gavest me a kid, that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as this thy son was come, which hath devoured thy living with harlots, thou hast killed for him the fatted calf. And he said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine.
Amen. Amen. Good morning, ladies. We've had Sister Smith to come in, Sister Jean Williams, our co-teacher, and Sister Violet Webster. We're so glad to see you ladies this morning. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Sister Kisman said more will be coming in, she believed, and she was right. Thank God for you ladies. We're just so thankful for each and every one of you. Sister Paige is handling our book for us there, and that page is being passed. Is everyone just kind of checking, make sure that all your information is right? You know, I like to give everyone a copy of, you know, our contact information. If anybody we want to call each other through the week or whatever, what have you, we'll have everyone has the same information. So if you check that and pass it back to me by the end of class, that'd be just fine.
This is the Jean Williams.
Oh, this is Jean. Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. We just
Yeah, 5 under
No, I
Cynthia.
ain't got it.
She ain't got it.
Oh.
Yes, she gave, we gave it to her. That was the first Jean she got. Man and her.
Oh, I didn't get it. She may have got it. All I got was 2 5s and my 5.
The 2 5s,
That wasn't yours and Sister Diane?
Diane.
Yeah, the 2 5 was ours.
Okay.
That's all I got. And my 5.
You didn't send me
And
the
Sister
5.
Faith.
Did you
And
say yours,
then
Diane?
this is all I have.
Did? I don't have but 5 left.
she sent a 20 down that way, I
It
believe.
didn't come to me.
Did it come? Huh.
I just saw that 5 laying in front
Yeah,
of the
You
Bible.
didn't put it in
I
here,
did
didn't you,
5.
Sister Kisman?
There's one on there when I came.
Okay, well, let's stop and get it right.
Yeah, I
You
said
sent
that
that.
was
You
a
just
10
sent that.
and this
I sent
10.
2
And
5.
and then Kay's check. That's all I had.
It didn't come out of my mouth.
You just have 1 5.
I just have 1 5 left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, y'all.
I saw you when you
Is
had
it on
it, but I don't know if you.
Are we still being recorded?
Yeah.
Please.